Welcome everyone to another episode of Money Matters. My name is Madhura and I'm the host of your show. Thank you so much once again for joining us. So if you're new to Money Matters, welcome to the show. This show basically outlines and shares stories, experiences of individuals in all kinds of backgrounds, from all kinds of backgrounds, and they come in and share their experiences with regards to money and finance. And this is a show that started during the pandemic. I think I was so bored, I wanted to listen to some stories, but now it has evolved into something so much more than that. We have had amazing guest speakers from all around the world who come and share their experiences. And I think what is very, very exciting about Money Matters is we talk about things that we may not usually get the chance to talk about in our environment, in our family or friend circle. But this is a safe space for us to share that and learn from each other's mistakes, lessons, experiences. So if you're new, thank you so much for being a part of this, and we hope you continue tuning in to our future Money Matters episodes. For our returning viewers, if you're back once again, thank you so much for always being a huge support. Of course, every like, share and sending this to people that you feel would benefit from it would mean a lot to me. So today's episode is something very exciting. We have an amazing guest speaker that I had the opportunity to meet recently, and I personally have enjoyed spending time and learning from her experiences and her background myself. And I thought it is only fair that I bring this to the audiences of Money Matters as well. So without further ado, let me welcome on, I mean she's already on stage, but let me welcome on stage Ayushi Mittal from Handtarted. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Founder of Handtarted. She's from all the way from India, guys, but she's here now in Malaysia, and she has decided to spend some time with us to have a chat. So Ayushi, how are you feeling today?
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for inviting me here. I feel blessed that I meet such amazing and great people here in Malaysia. I'm feeling super excited to share my journey, to learn from all of them here. It's quite different. Everything is so intercultural and a lot of positive vibes. So yeah, I'm super excited.
Thank you. That means a lot. I mean, intercultural, that is very true. Only when we get people from other countries coming into Malaysia do I realize, oh my god, we are truly like a Malaysian dish. We are so mixed up. There's so many things going on, but it tastes so good. So similar to that, I think the people here are amazing. I think because of all the different cultures coming together, it is truly unique. Yeah. And I mean, as much as that is amazing, and I love to be proud of my country, I love learning from other cultures as well, and it has been a privilege to learn from you. So before we go in deeper to Money Matters and talk about finance and all these fancy topics, maybe you can share a little bit about your journey. Like, what was your childhood like? Where are you from? And how are you founder of Handtarted now? Like, how did you end up here?
So I am from India. So basically, I'm from Rajasthan.
Okay.
So I live with my family there, and my journey was quite weird, but was a bit exciting. Was a bit adventurous. So I'm a CA final dropout, chartered accountancy. So I was continuing that together. I switched my 4 or 5 professions. So basically, I was a model, I was a poetry writer, I was an open mic speaker. Then I switched. I was doing chartered accountancy together. So academically, I was so well, and I was told that okay, your academic qualifications, there is a perfect profession that is chartered accountancy for you. So I went into that. I cleared my first level, second levels, both the groups. But then I felt like no, this is not what I want to do. My heart is not agreeing to what I am doing basically. So my heart and my mind was not in coordination. Then I explored. I was a writer also, so I liked writing, something very creative and everything. So I used to write a lot for other freelance freelance people who are looking for small writers with lower budgets in order to learn like how can I explore this, how can I work on this. I learned writing. So when I dropped my CA chartered accountancy out, I continued my writing profession. I made it very, like earlier I used to do it as a hobby, then I made it as a profession. Like into my writing profession, profession, I worked for like 2.5 to 2 years, and there I explored the entire like a lot about the different segments into writing, creative writing, academic writing, post writing, and script writing. So I did all kind of it because it was my passion. I used to write it. I used to love writing. I even worked as a full-time writer. Then after a period of time, I felt like after 2.5 years, I felt like, no, this is still giving me the money, but this is still not giving me the happiness, the calmness that I wanted into a particular profession. So I explored more. I was like, okay, let's just I didn't left it all of a sudden. I was carrying it till then. I was exploring more, like what else I can do, what can make me happy. I started traveling a bit. I got 2-3 weird startup ideas that were actually weird. Now I feel okay, that's great that I didn't work a bit too much on them. But there was 1 or 2 ideas that were good. I came up with 3-4 new ideas for startups. Then later, during this journey of exploration, I was so like very tired, like okay, now I'm not getting a good idea and everything. So I got to know about the resin art. So I thought, let's take a break for everything, and let's start it just as an hobby. I will love doing art and something. So I started as a hobby. And when I started it, actually things started changing. I was so keen every day, looking for, okay, what I'll get out of it, what I'll get out of it. So excited. And like I just tried, like let's just give it a chance to make it a business, like if it works out, because I'm happy into this. I'm able to do this. I really want to do this. I like doing it. And if I leave this and I'll go to my other things, then I won't be too happy. So I was like, let's give it a try to make it a perfect professional business. So I started with small things, like taking some orders for my friends and from some people around me. And when I actually started working on, I didn't knew how it went like, but it was, I got my own commercial space. I rented a own commercial space. I started working there to know how people feel about it, and the response was so good. People were liking the way I was dealing. People was liking the product I was coming up with. They were liking my ideas and everything. That's when that's when I realized that this is my thing. This I can work on it. So together, like art is I'm very emotionally connected to my profession. So I feel like art is in itself a therapy. So I used it with this concept, like I met a lot of people, and who used to do this as a therapy. Then I realized, no, this is just like not a valid reason, what a valid statement, like art isn't therapy. I like doing it. I feel excited doing it. But then when I did it consistently, I was a very emotional, over crying person. So when I consistently did it for like 4-5 months, then after 5 months, something happened where I was a very different person. I didn't react it the same way I used to react before. And I was so keen to know that what has changed over like 5 months. So when I had a conversation with my mentor, Uday sir, he's a psychologist by profession. He understands the mind very well. So I had a conversation with him, like, sir, what's happening? Like, why am I not able to cry over things now? Why am I like so different? I'm so happy and everything. I'm able to grab things. I'm able to understand things. That's when he told that you are already into a profession where you, every day when you see something new, your subconscious minds, it starts, the pattern start changing. And then when I'm like, okay, this profession is itself a very big thing. Like even I was not realizing, I was taking it like exciting, casual, but this can even change life of people. This can be good for them.
I like what you shared about, you explored a lot. Like, I mean, just listening to your story, you have done from modeling to previously writing and now resin art and all that. It's quite a fair bit of different industries in a way, and child accounting at one point as well. So like, how did you, I feel like a lot of people explore and they may not know what they're doing. They feel very lost. Did you have that lost feeling? And if you did, how were you able to kind of overcome that and keep focused on figuring out what is it that you want to do?
Okay, so of course I had a lot of doubts in my mind about everything.
Yep.
So it's like when I started, being from a typical Indian background, I was being criticized for what I was doing. Also because it's changing too much of the professions at the stage where people are actually thinking of settling down.
Yep.
Was very difficult. But still, I was like, I always worked on the results instead of working on the people's opinion, because there are a lot of people, lot of opinions. You cannot grab everything, and if you keep on grabbing people's opinion, nothing is going to work out for you. So my entire focus was on the results. When I started modeling, I got some good shoots, so I showed the results, like this is working out.
Yeah.
When I started with chartered accountancy, I dropped my profession out just after the next day of my results, when I cleared my chartered accountancy middle term exams, because I wanted them to be like, I'm dropping it out not because I cannot do this, because I don't want to do this. I don't feel like doing it. So it's like, it's never about you. You need to talk about results. You just cannot keep talking about the journey.
I like that, because I think many youngsters we meet and encounter, they want to try out and all of that, but they are unable to show the results. I think at the end of the day, if you have a parent, your parents are only going to look at, is my kid going to be all right? Is their future secure? So if you have, like what you said, you showed the results, I think that would kind of reduce their anxieties and worries, because they are not, she'll figure it out. She knows what she's doing.
Exactly.
And I like how you kind of actually did that. So like with regards to, freelancing and doing, freelancing is one form of it, but like now with Handarted, you are trying to build an actual business, and it's not just about you anymore. It's about having a group of people who are benefiting from this business. So when it comes to that, results may not necessarily be easy to achieve. So how did you then, in your current venture, which is the Handarted, how did you show the results to people?
First of all, when you start afresh with a new thing, it's not necessary that everybody is going to understand you. So this is a very common thing. So when talking about the results, you need to figure out things on your own. Like you need mentorship. Of course, you need guidance. So whenever I felt like I met some good people, I retained them with me. I have a good bunch of friends. I have a good bunch of mentors. So that's been like for 2 years, 5 years. They have been consistently with me, but I never saw them with this, mindset that okay, they are actually progressive for me. I'm being with them. I'm progressing. So, and during this journey, when in talking about the results, you need to work on the knowledge. Like I realized this, I was having the lack of lot of knowledge, because every profession was different, and every profession was having something, like every marketing tactic was different, every production tactic was different, every emotional tactic was different. So it was of course very very different to just start. It was very different for me to start. But when I started it, I was more focused on the sales. Like, okay, let me know because this resin art is not an art of India. It's an art of Greece. So people don't easily used to get it, and people find it very a bit expensive also. So I was quite unsure. Like before building the system for everything, I needed to know if this will actually work out or not. So I explored. I started my journey with like, let me see, okay, how do people do business here? Okay, they use communities. Okay, they're doing exhibitions. Okay, they're this. Like I tried everything in my 6-7 months of journey to know, okay, what business is. Because first we need to know, when talking about the results, we need to know what business is, how people are doing it, how learning from the experiences of people, like how they failed and then how they succeed. Not just focusing on they failed, so I will fail. Oh my God, this is not going to work out. So not like that. It's like I was always craving to learn. So this craving of learning things, at least maybe I was bad at certain things. Maybe I was bad at financial management. Maybe I was bad at marketing. But at least I was good at learning. I was good at exploring if at least my business has a potential. So when I know, now I know that my business has a very good potential. So now it would be easy for me to build, build a system now, because at least my mindset is very clear. So it's not about time, how long will it take, but when you're planning to build something very sustainable and long, you need to wait, you need to give it time, you need to deal with it with patience.
That's very nicely said. I think what I'm curious to know, right? Because the way your journey has taken place, you have done so many things, and I personally may have not encountered that many people who keep at it and keep going for it, and like you said, you had to just see whether the idea works, then you'll figure out how to build the systems and all of that, because that's true. If your idea is not going to work, what's the point you build the systems? And most people are enjoying building the systems rather than actually testing whether the idea works. So there's a lot of drive behind what you do, and you, like you said, you have the hunger to learn. What drives you? Like what is the reason that you're able to kind of go through all of these things?
There are a lot of reasons. I won't say there's a particular reason for doing it. So it's like when you first of all, it's like when we get criticized for who we are, we take it negatively and we accept it, like, okay, no, we are wrong. But when I was being criticized for who I was, that drive me more to know actually who I am. Maybe I am not matching the people's standards, so maybe I am more than that. I didn't thought like maybe I'm lower than that. So that was the reason that drive me. Of course, my family, I am very emotionally connected to my family. I'm a very emotional person, so I always feel like, always being there for my family in terms of financials, in terms of emotional, in terms of every responsibility. I don't feel like I'm a girl. I don't feel like okay, it's like I have to go. It's not. No, they are my family. They are always going to be my family. Yep. Maybe people adds on to my family, like my friends, like my mentors, but they are my everything. So I always nurture that. So there's a lot of things like failures, of course, my craving for respect. Yeah. I want respect from my profession. I want respect for myself throughout my life. Even if I want to respect myself, like I feel like, yeah, I want to respect myself. So if I feel like, okay, I'm doing something very good, very sustainable, very long, I will automatically, the respect I have for myself will increase.
That's true.
That also, like, there are a lot of things, a lot of factors that works out for you. So yeah.
I mean, I like what you said about like the respect for yourself. As much as we have the external, our families and our other goals, we might have monetary goals or whatnot. At the end of the day, by pursuing this and not giving up, we gain respect for ourselves, and that will actually make you a much happier person, I would say. Again, a long journey in that sense. I'm sure you made many mistakes. So what is, if you could time travel back to, I don't know, at the beginning of your journey or beginning of Handharted, what would you tell your younger self?
Okay, so one of the most, one of the biggest mistake that I did when I started my journey was not considering the financials, not considering the financial management as a significant part of my business. So I think that is the reason why I was working, but I was working in loop. I was not able to break out the pattern because I was not calculating my finances, like my finances in terms of numbers. So maybe when I started, of course, one of the most disadvantage or a negative point of starting when you start afresh, there's a disadvantage that you have limited resources. So what we always try to do is we always try to manage everything on our own. So we our focus is so diverse that we are not even focused on what we what's made for us, what we are perfect for, and what is the thing that we cannot handle. If we start learning into it, this will just go away. So that was the reason. I think the financial management was the thing that I didn't focus on. So I was just it was just 2 or 3 chartered accountants. I just my friends, a small group of friends, like talking to them, I got a different suggestions, like you must go with GST, you must not go with GST, you must do this, you must do that. So what was feasible for me to just first explore if the business is going to work out or not. So I just got to know, like, okay, let me just start it without documentations. There's too much of formalities, too much of everything. And my vision was clear that I wanted something big, but I managed my finances as if I was, there's no going concern. It's just going to end in like 7-8 months. So I just have to do it like that. But if my goal was not matching my financial management part, so like when I realized I got a good sales and everything, but sales was coming. Sales, I was doing well, I was earning well, but why is it like there's no money into my hands? Why was it? Because I was not having any calculations about my expenses, about my working capital, about everything. So I think, and when I realized it after 7 months, like when I really wanted funds for investments and I went for loans and everything, then I realized, okay, I did a very, very big mistake. The sales I covered in like 6-7 months is not going to be counted now, because there's no documentation, nothing like that. So I realized, okay, I did a very, very big mistake. Now it's time to just work on the systems now, because I know if I want, I can make this work. I was having full faith on myself, like I can make this work. But now my business is demanding systems. Now my business is demanding a proper procedures. So that's why. But this financial thing was very different and very you still don't know what you did in the last 6 months. Your mind was very happy you were getting sales, but you never where the money was going into the expenses, working capital, you were just working with no SOP, you were just working with no procedures, nothing. So when I realized it, I was of course heartbroken. I was sad, like, okay, now I did this mistake. But the very next moment, I was on my way to build a system. I was on my way to build a new SOP. I was on my way of finding solutions, because my business is very different. We work on liquids, then the product come in pieces. So there was a very complex thing that we wanted to work on. So I sat personally with one of my friend. He's a chartered accountant. He's working on his journey with chartered accountancy. So he was also keen in learning, okay, what's this business is like. He was also experiencing but when I sat with him, I explained everything. Now we are working on building a proper SOP and an accounting system for this.
I mean, I like there's a few things that I like what he said. One is that may not be your strength. You will be good at something, and everybody is good at something, and a business, you cannot handle every role. So it's important to look for the people who can cover your weaknesses in a way so that you can shine in your strengths, which is not something many people who just started their business think about, because it's very much on, I just need to get the sales in, I just need to make the money. And again, then if you don't set the right systems and all, you come 7 months down the road, you have no idea what happened. And what took place. So it's very, very valuable lessons, and I think thank you for sharing that very openly, because this is something most people I know who go into entrepreneurship phase, they almost everyone I know has gone through that phase of not keeping track of anything, and then they go like, oh, I should have kept track of things, and then they fix it. So if you're watching this and you want to start your own business, learn from her mistake and address that early on. I think that will save you a lot of time. Share with me a little bit about your perception about money, because this is Money Matters, so I have to talk about personal finances with everybody as well. What was your perception of money when you grew up? Were you someone who comes from like the kind of family that says, okay, we only have this much, we have to be very careful with regards to money, or we never had enough, or we always have too much? Like, what kind of perceptions did you have when you grew up?
Okay, so I am from a normal middle class family, so I was always always having a very different perception, like money makes us happy. Like this kind of profession. So still I believe money makes us happy, but still I started earning. When I got the ways, like I was into certain professions that were mind blowing in terms of earning, and not very authentic, unethical like that, but they were mind blowing in terms of earning. I was earning well. I didn't I didn't take any money, or I was quite independent from last like when I was 18 or 19. I tried to do things on my own, though my family is very very supportive into a lot of things. But there was like, okay, I tried to be independent, like small finances. I started managing small expenses on my own. But I entered into different profession. I was earning well there. I was earning good there, at least, if not too much. But I knew if I continue this, I'll just grow there. But I think still I was not happy. I was like, okay, I switched from writing profession. I was having a good LinkedIn background. I was a lot of clients. I was working well, but I was not happy. So I think I retained myself into a profession where I was earning well and I was happy together. So I think it was my perception from my childhood was that, okay, money is the only thing that matters. But later, after when I started traveling, when I met a lot of people, when I started my own journey into this money thing, into this earning thing, entrepreneurship thing, so then that's when I realized that it's not always about money. You need something that will give you what, like, okay, my business, like talking about my business, it gives me respect. I have respect for myself, people have respect for me, that at least I have something of my own at the age of 23. Now I need to work on this. So it was not just about money. Even if I switch to my previous profession, I can easily earn because I was doing it for 2.5 years. I was having good clients and everything. But now when it comes to my like what I actually want from my life, I want a good social environment. I want a respectable environment. I want the youngsters to learn from me. When I grew up, I want to feel like, okay, the people are learning from my experience, because what I have experienced is like, no, I think not everybody experienced this, and what I don't have is might be the people are experiencing a lot more than this. So there might be something that people wants to learn, or I want to be respected for who I am. So that's why I feel journey is not always about money. Of course it's about money, but it's not always about money.
I like that. And I like how you shared about that was the view you had or the view your environment had, which is money will make you happy, but you have gone through your own journey to figure that out, and you're brave enough to kind of go through that. So with regards to, I think, money management for businesses, it's sometimes it's a bit more objective for some people because it's a different thing. It's like business, but when it comes to their own money, everybody gets a bit more emotional and not so rational when it comes to their own finances. This includes me, even though I'm an accountant and I manage other people's money. When it comes to my own money, my eyes gloss over a little bit. It's no longer that clear, right? So in your own personal finances, what are some of probably the habits that you have or principles that you have that kind of helps you to manage it properly?
Okay, so talking about my habits, I was not quite consistent in noting down my expenses. I was earning, I was managing my sales, but I was not managing my expenses. So I did, even I forgot, I used to forget a lot of things. Okay, I where did I spend this money, where did I got this money from, and about the inventory, what's coming and what I have used, like no physical verification. So I think talking about my habits, I was not quite I was trying to manage it, but I wasn't able to manage it because of my habit of not noting down. And my habit, I used to think that I forget things very easily, but it was because my mind was already occupied with a lot of other things. So I didn't prioritize it. But later when I realized, okay, this needs the first and the foremost priority. This financial management literally needs the first and the foremost priority. So that's when I realized, okay, this is different. Now I'm working on things like, okay, maybe it's not a very big business, but still I need to figure out a way where this is not my matter of concern. I may outsource it to somebody, or maybe if I am doing it, I'm doing it in a proper way. So I'm working on figuring out still, because I have different field of expertise. So maybe if I need to save time to work on it, or maybe, okay, my mind should be clear with this so that I can work on this. There's a lot of things, a lot of segments. So yeah, these are the
questions. I like how you shared about tracking, because one of the things anyone who watches Money Matters for more than 5 episodes would definitely hear me talk about tracking. because I'm a huge fan of tracking expenses, and I feel like it gives you so much of power over your finances if you just know what you're doing with it. That itself is more than enough for you to get it right, or like start getting it right. Because the problem is when you don't know what's going wrong, and if you're going to a doctor and you just tell the doctor without telling the doctor symptoms, you expect the doctor to give you medicines, it's not going to go anywhere. So I like every speaker who mentions about tracking. I'm like, yes, that's another point for tracking. So to kind of summarize, right, your journey is is very inspiring, and I think any youngster who's watching Money Matters would be very inspired by it. If you were to able to sit down instead of me, who was a bit more older, if you could sit down with a teenager here and have a conversation, what would you be encouraging them to do at this point in their life, at 15 years old or something like that?
When they are 15, I would of course encourage them to explore, to know what they want. Like, it's not always about, life is not always about what they listen. Life is about what they learn, what they live.
Yes.
So every person has a different journey. So it's not about, we cannot predict our life on the basis of other people's journey. We have our own journey. Maybe it's too hard, it's too easy, maybe it's too adventurous, maybe it's too simple. So that depends on the person. So if the teenage is at the age of 15, I would say just go and get some practical experience. I would say just go and explore. Just ask your questions out. Just ask your questions out, like, no matter how weird it is, no matter how confusing they are, no matter how much is it going to irritate their parents or their mentors, but I would definitely say ask your questions out, because I have always asked the questions to myself: why am I so weird? Why am I like this? Why am I like doing this? Why am I changing so much of professions? But now I don't need answers of it, because during my journey only I got my answers. Like, they were all building me to be here like where I am, and I'm just growing ahead. So yeah.
Very nice. I mean, that's something I should take to my heart and ask more questions as well. But thank you so much, Ayushi. I think to kind of wrap up, can you share a little bit about your business, and where can we find out about it? Whether anyone who's watching, if they want to purchase your products, how do they go about it?
Okay, so all my products are basically handmade. So we use the resin art for making the giftings and home decor items. So giftings, we cover festive giftings, corporate giftings. So basically we work with 3 to 4 segments. We are engaged in giving the workshops and training to the people who wants to learn this, and we are engaged with giving workshops to the people who wanted to get out of the mental traumas, and they want to just want a break from their overthinking life and their traumatic life. Third thing, we are engaged into giftings and home decors, and fourth thing, we are engaged in selling the raw materials that are required for making these products. So we have our website with the name of www.handarted.com. We have our Instagram, it's Handarted. So you can connect with us. We do customization. So if anybody wants to purchase, they can personally get in contact with us. We always listen to the demands and requirements. So, but we are more inclined towards focusing on customer satisfaction and like understanding their requirements, because we have different suggestions, different gifts, creative ideas for different companies. We are also engaged in corporate giftings. Like, we come up with the different ideas for the different events. For example, talking about this, like, we were working for a real estate company, so we suggested them to have a key holder with in a shape of a key. So that was they liked the most. They appreciated. They're like, okay, this is something related to our business, and putting a logo and putting customization would of course work out. So there are a lot of things we work on. So if you want to order something, you can go on our website. You can connect with us on Instagram.
Perfect. You should definitely check it out, especially the Instagram. I loved what I saw, and I've been received one of their products, and I was very happy with it as well. So highly encourage you guys to check it out. Thank you so much, Ayushi, for joining and being a part of Money Matters. Really appreciate it, and safe journeys back to India.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we do another Money Matters, will be in India.
Yeah, I'll be in India for sure.
Okay.
But getting back from here to India is in itself a very big thing for me. Okay, too many learnings, too many experiences. Like even you are so inspiring. Well, like I've met you. You're the work you're doing with Ascendance, work you're doing together in your own journey, carrying both the things, everything together. So that is very, very inspiring in itself.
Thank you.
Thank you
That
for
means a lot.
inviting me.
Thank you. And for all of you who are watching, thank you so much for staying tuned. Really, really appreciate it. We'll see you guys at the next episode of Money Matters, which, if I'm not mistaken, will be in the new year. So, hope you guys enjoy celebrating the new year, and we'll catch you guys in a new episode in 2024.